do this in Cantonese?
Can you speak Cantonese?
Yes!
Oh, I can, eh?
Oh, we are live! Are we?
Right, speak,
Yeah,
Carrie.
it's a bit squint. It needs to not believe it.
Technical issues, folks.
I think. And his head. Oh, people, is there anybody on?
No.
Yes, there is. There's one person on, so I think it could be me. 2 people now.
One person on, one of the lady.
Oh, there we go.
Hello guys, sorry we were having some technical issues.
No, Anna was having technical issues.
Our technical assistant isn't very technical. We got there in the end. You would think maybe after. How many weeks have we been doing this
Like
now?
6
This is
weeks.
our
6
ninth,
weeks? 9th, are you joking?
9th week, folks.
Terry,
I've not been here 9 weeks.
You have?
I've missed 2 weeks. You've missed 2 weeks?
I missed 1 week.
1 week.
And I missed a week.
So I've been here more than you have.
Oh, guys.
Cook on with Derek.
Yeah. Keep on with Derek, new name.
This is week 9.
Is it really?
Week 9, folks.
Week
There we go.
9, there we
We
go.
have 8 people on board. Hello, and how are you today?
Hello everybody. We'll give everybody another couple of minutes. If
Are
you
we going
can...
to- who do we have on so far? Say hi, us.
No.
Us.
Does it say who's watching?
Oh, there we go. Tasha.
I don't want to go too close to everyone else.
So, can we maybe... So Tasha's asking about getting the ingredients. So Kerry, do you want to maybe talk about how you would get the ingredients? Where you go in Jeanette, where you go in...
Is there a certain day?
Yeah.
So you can pick up a free recipe pack at V-Cell in Jenin, previously Strive. It's now been renamed to Volunteer Centre East Lothian. It's on the High Street, it's just beside Joe's Chippy.
Oh,
That's actually where our pantry runs as well. So the recipe bags are available on a Tuesday. They're open 10 until 2 and it is first come first serve. This week's been very popular, so possibly they'd sold out. The other place you can pick them up is here in Preston Pans. Our pantry is open 11 until 1, so you can get them on a Tuesday as well. And there is some available at Port Seaton, but you do need to let them know if you're wanting to pick one up, because they only pick up a certain amount. And then Long Nidri is the same, so if you let us know, we can pass your information on.
So far we have Tasha, we've got Debbie and Harry, we've got
Debbie
Brooke-
Harry.
Debbie Harry.
Debbie Harry.
Right.
Do you know Debbie Harry?
Yeah,
The Debbie Harry.
that's my hero.
The famous Debbie Harry?
We've got Brooke, we've got Amber, and we have Team Sutherland.
Woohoo! Right guys, I think we'll get started. So if you can go ahead and preheat your oven, electrical appliance that heats food, that would be great. We're going for 200 degrees, 180 Fahrenheit or gas mark 6. What you need today, this is quite a simple recipe, quite straightforward and is really great for dinner. So we've got our noodles, we've got some dry noodles, we've got our pork, garlic cloves, we've got our onion, a pepper, some carrot, and we've also got our spices. I don't have teriyaki sauce, but you need teriyaki sauce, Chinese 5-spice and curry powder. I've also added a little bit of crushed chilli in ours because I like it a bit of spice. So we will start with our pork. I have already marinated Derek and I's pork. In here I've got the Chinese 5-spice, the curry powder, my chili flakes and my teriyaki sauce. You should really try and marinate it as long as possible. This has probably been about 3 hours. It just gives the meat a lot of flavour. Even overnight you could leave this as well.
Yep.
So what you're going to do with your pork is just get an oven proof tray. Oven. and put your pork into it. Just try and get all the marinade into it as well.
Voila.
So just
Smells gorgeous.
it's Chinese five spice. So you're just going to put it into your oven proof dish, cover it in tin foil, and then we're going to put it into the oven for about 15-20 minutes. Just keep checking it until it's completely cooked. Put these in the oven.
Yeah.
Anna, could you put these in the oven?
Just remember the pork is a raw meat, so keep it separate from the rest of your ingredients.
If we've not marinated it previously, can we just mix it all together and put it in the oven?
Yeah, you can do that now. I would recommend trying to marinate it because it will give it a lot more flavour. But if you don't have time, obviously just go ahead and do that. So next we're going to just prep our ingredients while we're waiting for our pork. So we're going to start with the onion. Just the same as all the previous weeks, taking all the outside skin off that we can get. Cutting off the top bit, so leave the root on. This is the part that holds all your onion together. That means you've got your flat surface, so your onion won't roll about and you're probably less likely to cut yourself. And then cutting down through the middle and taking any more skin off that we need to.
You should all be dab hands doing this by now after week 9.
No. Although saying that, I was cutting an onion earlier and I cut myself twice. I'm not very good at it. Can be quite slippery. But I did use someone's trick of putting the spoon in my mouth and that worked.
Can you elucidate on that for me, Carrie?
You know, for your eyes watering.
You put a spoon in your mouth.
So I put a metal spoon in my mouth and then that stops your eyes watering.
Would you like a spoon there?
No.
Do some ski goggles. So I'm just going to cut mine into rings, half rings. So just your hand that's holding it like a claw, and then down the way, always putting the motion of the knife away from yourself. And then if you feel it's getting a bit close to your fingers, just turn the onion round. I'm going to go with my garlic, so I have 3 garlic cloves here. If you prefer to use 2 or even 1, then that's up to you. I'm going to crush them this week because I want it quite small.
Ooh.
So you can chop it if you wish, it's entirely up to you, just whatever preference you have.
I think I'll crush.
Do you know, to get the same consistency, if you're like as a crusher, you can always grate it if you've not got
A garlic press.
yes, a garlic press, exactly.
I wonder, has anybody used the trick? Remember, Derek, that we showed
Yes.
them? You put it in a Tupperware.
I told my son in London how to do that and he was very impressed.
There
He
you
tried
go.
it.
And did he say it worked?
It worked perfectly.
Yeah, I was very surprised when it worked as well.
Brooke is saying that she's walked 16,000 miles today. But
16,000 miles?
turns out she's only walked 16,000 steps.
Oh, well done, Brooke.
But it feels like miles though.
I'm sure you're tired. Well, this is
ready for this though.
yeah. I was going to say this is perfect for you to refuel with.
Yes.
So
I'll be taking this home tonight with me. I don't normally take the stuff
good
home,
job.
but I'm impressed with Singapore Noodles.
Yeah, these are very tasty.
I will say, can I just add here before we start, okay,
You can.
that I think I mentioned the last time my wife, who doesn't cook,
Yes, I was going to ask about this.
was getting Gusto's. I'm on week 2 of Gusto's delivery, and it's very cheap. You can eat 4 nights a week for 2 people if you get a code from somebody else for £17, which is very cheap, very fresh, all very good. And my wife is doing a storm with it.
Excellent, well done.
Wow.
That's really good. Saying that, I ordered HelloFresh yesterday and it came last night. So mine was the same. I got 4 meals for 3 people for £7.
There you go.
I know. If you get a code.
If you get a code.
The trick is to get a code. So we're going to start with our pepper. So just going down the segments. Peppers are massive. Trying to keep the seeds out. And don't forget you can't eat the bottom bit.
Thinly sliced?
Yeah, I'm gonna just slice mine. So what sort of things are you be making, Derek?
Oh, actually tonight I'm having Sicilian linguine.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Lovely.
One thing I did have was baked cheese fish
Right?
with Mediterranean vegetables.
I
It's
love
lovely.
fish.
That sounds
Lovely.
lovely. So I'm just cutting mine into strips, quite thin. You can use any colour pepper that you want, but I decided we would go with red because it adds vibrancy. Okay, and finally I'm going to do my carrot. So what I'm actually going to do with the carrot is do carrot peelings. So obviously you can do this whatever way you want. So just using a peeler, going down the carrot to make thin pieces. I've cut off the top and the bottom. If you wish to cut it, then that's fine. It just makes these cool ribbons.
That's nice.
Yeah. Because sometimes I find like carrot can take quite a long time to cook. Especially if you want like a really quick dinner.
We should have done some Irish stew tonight for St Patrick's Day.
Oh,
I
of course,
know.
it's St Patrick's Day today, isn't it?
Oh god, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was looking up Colcannon, like Rossies. They look nice. You sort of forget what day it is because of everything that's
Because
going on.
every day seems to be the same now.
Every day's the same, isn't it? So, that's my carrot done. So we're just going to put my pan on a medium-high heat. I can't even remember how to use this. So, I'm going to go about 700.
I got sent an Irish joke for St Patrick's Day actually.
Is it a good one?
It's on my phone, just I can't remember what it is, I'll have to make sure it's right.
Why?
Just add in a couple of tablespoons of oil into my pan and letting that heat up.
Why do you normally measure out your oil?
Just because it means you can track how much we're eating. We should only be eating a little bit of fat in our diet. A lot of us consume too much fat.
That's rubbish!
Don't know if you can see it.
Or it might flip. I think it's going to flip.
What do you mean it's gonna flip?
Do you want me to read it out? Like mirror image. You read
Oh,
it?
does it?
It does.
Derek's gonna tell you an Irish joke for St Patrick's Day.
They've got it now, look.
But it's flipped backwards.
Well, what it basically says is remember, puns on St Patrick's Day don't just shame you, they shame us all.
That was alright. Although, to be fair, I don't know any other St Patrick's joke. So,
Right, sorry, interrupting.
So I've just measured out a couple of tablespoons of oil into my pan. I would always recommend measuring, Derek. It just means you know how much fat you're adding into your diet. We do need a little bit of fat in our diet. We need fat we use it as an energy source. We also have a little bit of fat around all of our organs. This is for protection. We use it for warmth. And we also use fats to transport hormones in our body. So we do need a little bit, but just not a lot. We also try and eat polyunsaturated fats or unsaturated fats because these are better for your heart health. So now that my pan's a little bit hot, I'm just going to go ahead and add my onion. So I'm going to sweat that off for a little bit. While I'm waiting, I'm just going to cook my noodles. So I'm actually just going to cover these in boiling water. I'll do that while my onions cooking. And then put the tea towel over them.
Lovely jubbly.
Now Derek,
Yes.
do you have a fact of the week this week?
Well, actually, I do. I did trying to do some research on Singapore noodles, because obviously with the word Singapore, people think Singapore noodles come from Singapore. Now, geography lesson, Singapore is a small island in the Asian countries, but Singapore noodles first came into fruition in the 1950s in Hong Kong, and they were done in the Cantonese style in Hong Kong, and the ingredient that makes them Singapore noodles is indeed the curry powder.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
But they normally use fresh vermicelli. It's a bit like spaghetti.
Yeah, it's quite thin.
It's very thin kind of pasta, so they normally do a very thin vermicelli for their Singapore noodles. But these ones are easier to do with just boiling water. So yes, there's your fact for today.
So vermicelli is very much like rice noodles. But I now have to have rice noodles because I can't have egg noodles because they've got gluten in them.
I think it's still an egg noodle. It's just really, really,
It's really
thin.
thin.
Yeah. A lot of people actually use it in desserts.
Yes.
Have you ever made your own noodles?
No, I don't have a pasta machine.
I saw
You could buy one for Christmas.
well, there's an idea. You've only got a few months to wait. Oh, fine. I saw someone making them and they did look really easy. Obviously, if I tried it, it'd be different.
Now you really don't want to burn these onions, you really want to just have them kind of translucent, is that right?
Yeah,
just
so we're just
sweaty
kind of
down a bit.
soften them.
Yeah, soften, that's what I was looking for.
If you do feel like they're burning a wee bit, feel free to add a tiny bit of water. That's what I do, because sometimes it just helps with the softening. And I think I'm using a bit of water for my noodles.
Are we able to cook the noodles the conventional way over a pot?
Yeah, you can put them in a pot of boiling water if you wish. I would recommend just doing them for a minute less because you're going to heat them again in the pan and we don't want them going too mushy. You can get straight to wok noodles as well.
They're very good.
Yeah, they're
I like them.
a lot easier.
Yeah.
Smelling delicious.
It is smelling delicious. Just keeping an eye on your pork, remembering. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in my garlic. You don't want this to burn.
Oh, I love the smell of garlic. Oh.
So I started walking my dog, and on the way to the park, there's this lady and she's always cooking her dinner at the same time I walk my dog, and every night it's smells like garlic. And every night I feel like knocking on her window and be like, what you having tonight?
I don't think I ever cook without garlic. Something I use a lot.
Well, I'm quite lucky. I've got some neighbours of mine. I've got a Bangladeshi family that live across the road
Oh,
from me,
amazing.
and I've got my local shop, which you've probably seen in the evening news. They reckoned it was a bit like open all hours. He's called Shokot, and his wife very often makes me a chicken curry.
Oh, delicious.
But her favourite meal to give me is it's like curry pulses,
Right?
and they are just unbelievable. And across the road from me, and my Bangladeshi friends, they always bring me some nice cakes.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm very lucky.
You are lovely neighbours. What
Yes.
do you give them in return?
Well, I always give them something that kind of when it's their kind of reality and their times.
We're just going ahead add in the pepper, stir frying it a little bit.
Oh, I put the carrot in too.
Fine.
When you're allowed in a house, Derek, so you get them to keep and you can come on and cook some recipes as well.
Yeah.
I'll have to get them to come along.
Well, I actually watch Rich Steam quite a lot because you get a lot of good tips for cooking from Rich Steam. And he's just currently got the new one on just now, and he's in, I think it's Calcutta. He's in India. He travelled to India for 3 months, and some of the food that he's cooking, it's just, and he show you how to make your own curry and how to actually, it's not out of a tin or a jar or.
What I always feel with recipes like that is there's a process to it. They always do their onions first,
Yep.
then their garlic, so the fragrant stuff first. To release all the flavours. But the amount of spices they can put into a meal is incredible.
There's one I want to try, but I might leave it a wee while. It's a mulligatawny soup.
Oh, my nan used to make
It's
that.
supposed to be
phenomenal.
awesome.
It's like Indian.
Yeah.
I actually think my nan possibly used a recipe in this case. That could be wrong, but she always had a family cookbooks and that was the best soup ever.
Oh really?
My favourite.
Remember and stir your noodles to break them up from their.
I'm gonna add a little bit more water, just mine's just to burn a little bit. And I will go and check on our pork.
And remember, we're always open to suggestions on recipes which you feel may be beneficial to us all.
We've put out our evaluation form, which is online, where people can give us any suggestions and give us all your feedback, because actually that really helps us and supports us and
Yep.
helps us get funding and things like that. So that would be brilliant if everybody could fill that out.
Our pork is ready, Garrett.
Our pork's ready.
It is.
Oh.
So I'm just going to bring it in. That's heat prep mat for your dish.
I'll wash my hands first before they.
How long were we cooking the pork for?
That was about 10-15 minutes, if even that.
So if your pork's been in for about 10-15 minutes, I would maybe check to make sure it's okay.
With pork, you'll know it's cooked the whole way through. It'll go from a pink to a white.
Right, okay.
Anna, you don't want to get up and show your outfit to everybody that.
You're obsessed with my outfit, Derek. He's been criticising my outfit because I've been enjoying the sun. Fit today, ladies and gentlemen. Catching the race while I can.
You've left your sunglasses out, Anna.
Sorry.
Try again.
Just follow. Bye.
Love it.
Okay, so our pork's ready. I don't know if you can see, but there's a lovely juice.
Oh, yeah.
Came out of it. Yeah, don't get rid of that. So just while you're waiting for your vegetables to soften, we're just going to take the pork out of your oven proof dish and cut it into slices. It does smell really nice. You could do this with any meat really. Do it with chicken as well. Although the chicken would take a bit longer to cook. And you can add prawns to it as well.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, I do like prawns.
We quite often make this at the school and the kids are always like, ooh, prawns, but actually in the dish it's lovely.
So this is a great alternative to going to the Chinese takeaway and getting your Singapore noodles. A lot healthier, a lot lower in fat. We haven't added any salt. For sugar, you know exactly what's going into it, and it's a lot more budget friendly.
Carrie, we talked quite a lot about our salt intake, about adding salt. Do you want to tell people why we would want to cut down our salt, what salt's really needed for?
Yeah, so each week we do mention just being wary of your salt intake. In Scotland, our salt intake is a lot more than what is recommended, so it's recommended we eat no more than 6 grams of salt, which does seem quite a lot, but once we add up all our food, we actually exceed that. Too much salt, mostly for your blood and your heart rate.
Yeah.
It can add blood pressure, which in turn increases your risk of stroke, heart attack, things like that. So just being wary of your salt. One thing we would always try and do is not add any salt while we're cooking. Adding it, if you do feel like you need to add salt, add it after you've cooked. Using herbs, spices, things like that to flavour our food rather than salt. You can also use things like lemon juice for that bit of acidity, or lime juice in place of salt. We do need a little bit of salt. In our bodies we use salt to regulate the electrolytes in our blood. So whenever you sweat you'll lose salt. If you lick your lips you'll taste like a saltiness. So there is a little bit of salt in our blood, but we don't want a lot. So my vegetables are nice and softened. I'm going to go ahead and get my noodles. I'm not going to strain these, I'm just going to use the tongs. A lot of chefs will always tell you to keep the water that you cook noodles in or pasta for your sauce, so I don't want to get rid of that just yet.
It smells amazing.
It does, doesn't it?
How's everyone getting on at home?
So we're just going to give that a good stir.
Oh. Oh. I would just like to add that my salt intake since being down here with CARRIE has reduced by about 80%.
Yeah.
But I'm still very conscious of salt. You do need some salt in your system because when you dehydrate,
Yeah, exactly.
you need salt, but not a lot.
It's like everything.
In moderation.
We always say everything in moderation, even too much fruit. Although that's another thing that Scottish people don't eat enough of, fruit and veg. Like just everything in moderation. Just be mindful in every meal that you eat. Am I getting any fruit and vegetables in this? Am I adding salt to it? Am I adding fat? It's just a good thing to think about whenever we're cooking. And if you are in the supermarket, another good thing to look at, which can be quite confusing, is the labels of food. We've got this traffic light system, so red is high in salt, fat and calories, amber is okay, and green would be lower. So if you're going in the supermarket, always try and have more greens. So my noodles are in. Next thing I'm going to do is add in that lovely sauce that came out of the pork. So you can get all the lovely bits.
Oh, lovely jubbly.
Oh.
Does smell really nice.
It's wafting over here and I'm loving it.
I'll be going away down the street, people will be coming all over. Just making sure your noodles are completely coated.
I've actually been to Singapore.
Oh wow, amazing.
I didn't like Singapore. My wife loved Singapore, but the street food is awesome in Singapore. And the difference is, if you go to a place where they do street food, it was like £5 for 2 of you to eat, you know. But then if you went to a burger joint, it was like 10 times the price of what it is in this country.
Really?
But when I went to Singapore, it was on a stopover to go to my daughter's hockey in Australia
Oh yeah, of course.
for the Commonwealth Games. But I really wanted to go to visit the most famous hotel in Singapore, Raffles, and have a Raffles cocktail.
Yeah.
So I went, and the place was closed for renovation.
Oh, Derek! Well, do you know what that means,
Took me
Derek?
14 hours to get to Singapore. It was closed.
You need to go back. That's what that means.
And we do.
You'll need to go back. It's the same in the likes of Thailand and stuff. Very little Thai people will make food in their house.
No, street food.
All street food, yeah, because it's so cheap. It's very complicated to make. Actually, there's a lot of elements to it, so
So we're putting this in the bowl and then going to cook the pork. That's what we're doing.
just going to put the pork right on top.
Right on top.
Yep.
Excellent.
So just transferring your noodles, if your veg is all softened, into the pan.
If you were cooking prawns with that, where would you put the prawns in?
If it was raw prawns, I would actually pan fry them separately first, then add them into the noodles once you've added the veg and the noodles. If it was cooked prawns, you're really just reheating these, so add them at the same time you add the noodles into the vegetables.
Curry powder.
And your prawns as well,
No, we've not got any in. Have we got any in?
and the pork.
Oh,
So all our herbs and spices have went on.
I'm going to the top.
Well, you can add it in and mix it up if you want.
It looks absolutely sumptuous.
Look at Carrie just stuffing it all on top of there.
I'm actually going to get this though. Scoop that in.
Is that good? Derek's impressed.
And we're so much. Oh!
Oh, we got a kick. We got a kick. Nice. Not nice. So our Singapore noodles are finished. It is really that easy.
Nice and quick.
How long did that take us?
Like,
That took us 33
33
minutes.
minutes.
33 minutes and your healthy dinner is done. I would say this is at least 2 of your 5 a day. So you've got your vegetables in there, you've got your carbohydrates to give you energy, you've got your protein source with the pork as well. If you're doing a veggie version, feel free to just add any vegetables that you like. Or gluten-free, you can do a gluten-free version as well. Or now do they do gluten-free noodles?
Yep, I can have rice noodles, which
Oh.
you would cook like just the same way that you would cook the other noodles, just for less time because they're so much thinner.
And a banana.
thank you very much.
This is the best bit, the taste test.
I'll have
You
some
get a fork.
pork from the top please.
Now,
Yeah, bring a couple through, please.
oh. Oh,
They're good.
absolutely beautiful.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to eat
And I love
Yeah, it really makes a difference. So guys, let me know what you think of your Singapore noodles. If you have any questions, then just let us know. What's the verdict here? What do you think, Derek, out of 10?
I want more pork, that's delicious. Sorry, I'm stealing Carrie's dinner. That's so nice.
Beautiful.
That pork is
amazing.
so tasty, and like there's not even a lot of salt in that, is there?
No salt.
There's no salt at all.
No salt, just herbs.
No complaints, that's delicious.
Yep.
Mm.
I think this is definitely a good
Brooke is saying this is a 12 out of 10,
Oh, thank
Oh.
you, Rick.
and I 100% agree.
I agree as well.
I bet you maybe it's sad to be gluten free learner because you've got that pork's bloody delicious. Sorry.
As I know.
The pork's all gluten free, it would just be the noodles that you need to
It's
salt.
literally just noodles.
That is so delicious.
Me personally, this is the nutritionist in me. There's no green in it. Whenever
Yeah.
I make a meal, I always try and think of the rainbow.
What about like long stem broccoli or something?
I was
You
going
do
to say,
broccoli
you
or,
can do
or
broccoli.
like spinach or
Yeah,
just
spinach.
peas or something.
But mange too.
One good thing you
Amazing.
can get.
But did you see that thing, Man Get Out? The woman on...
Yeah, man, get out.
All the supermarkets,
Oh.
all the supermarkets sell bags of frozen spinach in
Uh-huh.
in balls.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
a leaf, and you can throw it in soups. You can throw it in stews. You can throw.
I do like a bit of spinach. If you
Throw
can
it
just
in.
chuck spinach in it and just toast
Yep.
that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, spinach is so quick.
Beautiful.
So let us know what you think of it.
I'm going to go there and say
If
it's
you've
my
added any other vegetables that we've added, or if you've done a veggie version, the gluten-free version. And don't forget to join in next week where we are making fish cakes.
Fish cakes.
Oh,
And we're going to do our famous potato wedges.
oh, lovely.
I think Lisa Kerr is famous for potato wedges, so we'll need to try and top her, Derek.
Are we doing salmon fish cakes, tuna fish cakes?
Tuna.
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 We're tuna. Tin tuna. So
Good.
store cupboard ingredients. Really easy to do. Guys, we hope you really enjoyed our Singapore noodles. Don't forget to send us in some feedback. We've sent out a little evaluation which Lorna mentioned earlier. If you fill that in, it would be really great. We use it to promote our project, and it means we get more funding so we can keep things like this going.
Yep.
Hopefully pretty soon it might be in person.
Mhm.
That would be good. So don't forget to send us photos. We love seeing our photos, and we will see you next week. Bye guys.
Bye.
Ciao.